Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move through life with ease, while others struggle every step of the way? Why do some people always have opportunities falling into their laps, while others are constantly behind on bills, have to work for another 40 years and never catch a break? You may think it is all luck, or that they were born into the right family, but the real answer is different. The truth is that they know things about money that most people don't. Things that sound simple, yet brutally honest. Things that can give you an unfair advantage in life if you dare to listen. Today we will see 27 of these truths that could hurt you. They are not for everyone, because they are brutally honest. And the further we go with the video, the harder they will be. And not everyone will be able to get to the end of this video, especially after Truth 18. But if you do, know that you are already ahead of 99% of people, and this will give you an almost illegal advantage over others. So leave a like and let's start. Truth 1. Time is your most valuable currency. When you are young, you think money is the most valuable thing. You dream about cars, houses, clothes. But what you really have, without realising it, is time. And time, once it slips away, never comes back. Imagine two friends at age 20, Alex and Veronica. Alex decides to put away just a little bit of money every month, maybe the cost of a couple of coffees a day. Veronica says, "I will wait, I have plenty of time." Fast forward 30 years. Alex has a small fortune, without even trying too hard, while Veronica is just getting started, and no matter how hard she works, she will never catch up. Why? Because compounding does not reward the biggest paycheck, it rewards the earliest start. Every year you delay, the hill gets steeper, the climb gets harder. So if you want an unfair advantage, understand this now. Time beats money. And try to be like Alex, not like Veronica. Truth 2. Most people will never build real wealth because they lie to themselves. Ask the average person about their finances, and they will tell you a story. They will say they are saving, even if it is just a few dollars here and there. They will say they plan to invest, someday, when they earn more. They will say they deserve to buy something because life is short. These are comforting lies. The brutal truth is that if you spend everything you earn, wealth will always stay out of reach. The people with an advantage are the ones who stop lying to themselves early. They track their money. They know exactly where it goes, and they face the uncomfortable reality of their spending. And they also do all this thanks to the secret on the Truth 14. That honesty is like a flashlight in a dark room. It shows the path, while most people stumble around blind. Truth 3. Your salary alone will never make you rich. This one is painful for many to hear. You can have a good job, a high-paying job even, but if all you rely on is that paycheck, you are running on a treadmill. You may move your legs faster, but you are still in the same place. Salaries are designed to cover your lifestyle, not to build real freedom. The people who break free know that their money must work harder than they do. They put part of every paycheck into assets that grow. Stocks, businesses, real estate, skills that pay them again and again. The person who only has a salary may live comfortably, but the person who learns to multiply money has the unfair advantage. And it's not even that difficult to create a second income. You just need 3 or 4 hours a week to create your faceless YouTube channel. And this is one of the truths that no one wants you to know, because YouTube is on easy mode now. And if you want to understand how, join my free Telegram community with the link below. Truth 4. Debt is a silent thief of your future. Credit cards, personal loans, car financing. For many people, debt is normal, almost like breathing. They tell themselves everyone has it, so it must be fine. But the truth is that debt quietly steals your future before you even get there. Every dollar you owe is a chain around your ankle. It limits your choices, your opportunities, your freedom. Think about it this way. If you earn $1,000 and $300 immediately goes to pay for the past, you are not living in the present. You are paying for mistakes that already happened. People with an unfair advantage know this. They use debt carefully, sometimes to build wealth, but they never let it control them. They pay it off quickly, and they avoid it when it does not serve a purpose. Truth 5. Money reveals who you really are. People think money changes them. They say, if I had more, I would be generous. I would be disciplined. I would be responsible. But money does not change you. It amplifies you. If you are careless with $100, you will be careless with 10,000. If you are greedy with a little, you will be greedy with a lot. That is why most lottery winners go broke. They were bad with money before, and more money only made their flaws louder. The unfair advantage comes from building good habits now, while the amounts are small. Then, when the bigger amounts come, those habits scale with you. But be careful when this happens. We will see why in Truth 7. Truth 6. No one is coming to save you. This is one of the hardest truths. Many people live with the secret hope that something will save them. Maybe an inheritance, maybe the government, maybe some sudden opportunity. They put off responsibility because they imagine a rescue. But here is the brutal truth. No one is coming. No one cares about your financial freedom as much as you do. Not your boss, not your parents, not your friends. The only person who can save you is you. And while that may sound harsh, it is actually liberating. Because it means you do not have to wait on anyone. You can start right now with whatever you have. That shift alone is an unfair advantage, because while most people wait for a miracle, you are already moving forward. If this already seems hard, don't worry. We're just getting started, and it's only going to get harder. Know that the Truth 27 will be so brutal that you'll have trouble holding back the tears, but let's go slowly. Truth 7. Lifestyle inflation is the enemy of wealth. Picture this. Someone gets a raise at work. They celebrate by buying a bigger car, moving to a bigger apartment, eating out more often. A year later, they get another raise, and they repeat the cycle. Their lifestyle rises as quickly as their income, and no matter how much they make, they are always at zero. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent enemy of wealth. The people with an unfair advantage do something different. They may upgrade a little, but they keep most of the extra money working for them. That way, every raise is not just more comfort today, it is more freedom tomorrow. That simple choice, made again and again, creates a gap that widens with time. One person ends up trapped in endless expenses, the other ends up with wealth. Truth 8. Most people misunderstand freedom. Ask someone what financial freedom means, and they will say it is about never working again, lying on a beach, doing nothing. But that is not true freedom. Doing nothing gets boring very fast. Real freedom is having choices. The choice to walk away from a toxic job. The choice to take time off with your family. The choice to start something new without worrying about paying rent. That kind of freedom only comes when you build systems that pay you, when you design your money to give you options. Most people never understand this, which is why they chase the wrong dream. The unfair advantage comes from seeing freedom not as escape, but as control. Truth 9. Opportunities reward the prepared. People love to say others are lucky. They see someone buy a house at the perfect time, or invest in a company before it grows, and they call it luck. But luck favours the prepared. The person with cash saved up during a crash can buy assets cheap. The person who keeps learning new skills can take a job others are unqualified for. The person who lived below their means can take a risk others cannot afford. The person that opens his faceless YouTube channel now will earn more than others. From the outside it looks like luck, but in reality, it is preparation meeting opportunity. If you want an unfair advantage, prepare now. Save when it is boring. Learn when it feels unnecessary. Because one day the opportunity will appear, and you will be ready while others watch it pass by. Truth 10. Talking about money early is a superpower. Most people avoid money conversations like the plague. They think it is rude. They think it will cause tension. They think it is something you only talk about when there is a crisis. That is why so many relationships collapse when money problems arrive. But the truth is, talking about money early is a superpower. Imagine starting a relationship and being clear from the beginning about spending habits, about debt, about future goals. Instead of fighting about it later, you build trust now. This does not only apply to partners. Talking about money openly with family, with close friends, even with colleagues when it makes sense, creates clarity. It takes courage, yes, but it gives you the unfair advantage of alignment. While others are tripping over hidden financial landmines, you are moving forward with your eyes wide open. Truth 11. Generosity is not about wealth, it is about mindset. You might think generosity begins once you have millions, but that is not true. If you are stingy with $10, you will be stingy with 1,000. And if you learn to be generous with little, that habit grows with you. Money is a tool, and one of its most powerful uses is to build connections. When you give freely, whether it is buying lunch for a friend or donating to a cause you care about, you create trust, gratitude, and opportunities that money alone cannot buy. The unfair advantage is this: people remember how you make them feel. Generosity turns money into something bigger than a number. It turns it into a magnet for relationships, and those relationships often bring opportunities no one else sees, as we will see in the Truth 16. Truth 12. Waste is part of the process. There is a dangerous illusion many people fall for. They believe that if they cut out every bit of waste, they will suddenly become wealthy. They obsess over returning a $5 item or driving across town to save a few cents on gas. But here is the brutal truth. Waste is part of the process. You will waste some money, and that is okay. The real goal is not perfection, but progress. If you spend an extra $20 but your investments are growing by thousands, you are still winning. The unfair advantage comes when you stop beating yourself up over small waste and instead focus on the big picture. You invest your energy where it multiplies, not where it saves pennies. Truth 13. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Society loves scripts. Buy a house as soon as you can. Get married at a certain age. Have kids. Work 40 years. Retire at 65. Hope you have enough to survive. But that script is not mandatory. You can choose a different path. Renting instead of buying can be smarter for your lifestyle. Traveling in your 20s instead of waiting until your 60s can give you richer experiences. Starting a business instead of climbing a corporate ladder can bring freedom earlier. Making videos on YouTube instead of watching it, like we teach you in my free Telegram community, with the link below. The people with unfair advantage are the ones who question the script. They do not just ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Does this fit my life?" That question changes everything. Truth 14. Buy value, not price. Most people shop backward. They look at the price tag first, then decide if they want the thing. But smart people flip the order. They ask, "Do I actually want this? Does it fit my lifestyle? Will it improve my life?" Only after answering those questions do they look at the price. Because buying cheap things you don't love is still a waste, while buying something valuable that lasts is an investment. Think about clothes that fall apart after 2 washes versus a piece that lasts years. Think about tools that break down versus one you rely on for a lifetime. The unfair advantage is not in always choosing the cheapest or the most expensive, but in knowing the difference between cost and value. Truth 15. Experiences compound faster than possessions. Here is something strange. The excitement of a new phone fades in months. The thrill of a new car fades in years. But the memory of a trip, the laughter with friends, the adventure you had, those can last forever. Experiences compound in your memory, in your stories, in your relationships. They make you richer in ways money alone cannot measure. Possessions eventually end up in the trash. Experiences stay in your mind and heart, and they make life feel abundant. The people with an unfair advantage use their money not just to buy things, but to buy memories. They understand that money spent well today can bring joy again and again for decades. Truth 16. Exposure to new environments multiplies your opportunities. If you only ever stay around the same people, the same neighbourhood, the same ideas, your opportunities will always be limited. Money can give you access to new environments. Maybe it is travelling to another country, maybe it is attending a conference, maybe it is even upgrading your circle of friends. Every time you step into a new environment, you open a door to possibilities you did not know existed. I remember someone who grew up thinking flying business class was only for celebrities. The first time he experienced it through work, his entire mindset about comfort, value, and goals changed. That exposure shaped how he viewed money forever. The unfair advantage is this: The more perspectives you see, the more creative and prepared you become. Truth 17. Be careful who you take advice from. Everyone has an opinion about money. Family, friends, co-workers, strangers on social media. They all want to tell you what to do. But here is the brutal truth. Most of them are wrong. They are projecting their fears, their failures, their limited vision onto you. They may care about you, but that does not mean they know what they are talking about. Taking advice from broke people about wealth is like taking health advice from someone who never exercises. The unfair advantage comes from filtering your sources. You listen to those who have proven results, not just opinions. And you learn to question even them, because ultimately, your path is your own. It all depends on your goal, but if you've made it this far, I know you have big goals in life. So if you'd like, please write them in the comments so we can compare. Truth 18. Anticipate big expenses before they arrive. Too many people get crushed by big expenses because they pretend they will not happen. Weddings, cars, medical bills, even emergencies. They arrive sooner or later, and if you are not ready, they wipe you out. The people with unfair advantage play the long game. They start preparing years in advance. They save for events before they even have a date. They build emergency funds not because they expect the worst, but because they know the worst eventually comes. Preparation turns a crisis into a challenge, and a challenge into an opportunity. Everyone else panics. You simply act. Truth 19. Your language shapes your wealth. The words you use about money shape the way you think about it. If you say, "I am always broke," you program your brain to see yourself that way. If you say, "This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip," you limit yourself from ever repeating it. The unfair advantage is learning to shift your language. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say, "How can I afford it?" Instead of saying, "I'm bad with money," say, "I'm learning to get better with money." Your words create your mindset, and your mindset creates your actions. Change the story you tell yourself, and you change your results. Truth 20. Taxes should not control your life. Many people make decisions only to avoid taxes. They move to places they do not like. They buy things they do not need. They make choices that make them miserable, all to save on taxes. But the truth is, money should serve your life, not the other way around. The unfair advantage comes when you focus first on building the life you want, then adapt for taxes as a secondary step. Wealthy people do not obsess over squeezing every last dollar from the tax code. They design their lives, then optimize. That mindset frees you from chasing pennies and lets you chase true freedom. Truth 21. Some things are worth paying a lot more for. Not all money should be saved. Some money should be spent, wisely, and in larger amounts. The best talent, the best healthcare, the best mentors, sometimes the best experiences. These can pay you back many times over. Think about hiring a trainer who transforms your health, or buying a course that gives you skills worth hundreds of thousands over your lifetime. The unfair advantage is knowing when to pay more, not when to pay less. Cheap advice, cheap tools, cheap shortcuts often cost you more in the long run. Invest in quality, and it will reward you again and again. And an investment you can make without money is to join my free Telegram community with the link below, where I will explain how to open a YouTube channel from scratch that will give you an almost illegal advantage over others, especially now that YouTube is on easy mode. Truth 22. Some things are never worth overpaying for. On the other hand, there are traps disguised as normal. High financial advisor fees, overpriced insurances, fancy bank products designed to drain your money slowly. These are things you should avoid at all costs. Paying 1% of your portfolio every year to someone who does little more than click buttons can cost you millions over decades. That is money you could invest, money that could change your life. The unfair advantage comes from questioning every cost, every percentage, every fee, and cutting out the silent leaks in your finances. Truth 23. Savings are powerful only when invested. Saving money feels safe. People like seeing cash in their account. But savings alone will never build wealth. Inflation eats it slowly, and your future slips away while you feel comfortable. The people with unfair advantage know this. They save, but they quickly move their savings into investments that grow. Every dollar is like a seed. Sitting in the jar, it never multiplies. Put in the soil, it becomes a tree. Investments are the soil. The sooner you plant, the sooner you enjoy the shade. If this hurts you, don't worry. Truth 27 will hurt even more, but it is so brutal that once you understand it, you will get results you never thought you could achieve. Truth 24. Credit card debt is a trap disguised as normal. Walk into any household, and you will likely find credit card balances carried month to month. People shrug and say, everyone does it. But that is like saying everyone smokes, so it must be fine. The interest rates are designed to keep you trapped forever. Paying the minimum means you never escape. The unfair advantage is staying out of this trap from the beginning. Pay off your balance every month. Use credit for convenience, never for survival. That single habit separates the free from the chained. Truth 25. Vision determines how you spend. When you are young, you may not know exactly what you want. You experiment, you try things. But as you grow, clarity becomes power. If you know the kind of lifestyle you want in 10 years, you can shape your money around it today. Without vision, you waste on things that do not matter. With vision, every dollar has a purpose. For example, someone who knows they want to retire early will think differently about buying a brand new car. Someone who knows they want to build a business will think differently about going on expensive vacations. The unfair advantage is that vision turns spending into strategy. Truth 26. Decide where your unlimited budget is. Here is something most people never do. They treat every purchase the same, worrying about every single dollar, or ignoring all discipline. But smart people create rules. They decide one area of life where their budget is unlimited. For some it is books, for others travel, for others maybe fitness or education. By doing this, they enjoy guilt-free spending where it matters most to them, while keeping control in other areas. That balance is powerful. It means you live richly in ways that matter, while still building wealth. The unfair advantage is knowing what fuels your life and prioritizing it without apology. Truth 27, the most brutal one. Nobody cares. Results do. This may be the harshest truth of all. People do not care how hard you work. They do not care how many hours you put in, how much you sacrificed, how much you struggled. They care about results. Your boss cares about the value you bring. The market cares about the product you deliver. Investors care about returns. The unfair advantage is understanding this early. Instead of wasting energy telling stories about effort, you focus on showing results. That mindset changes everything. It gets you promotions, clients, partners, and wealth that others only dream about. And there you have it. 27 brutally honest truths about money that give you an unfair advantage in life. If these truths feel harsh, remember that they are not meant to discourage you. They are meant to wake you up. Most people will never hear them, or if they do, they will dismiss them. That is why most people stay stuck. But you, just by hearing them, already have an advantage. The question is what you will do with it. Let me know in the comments which of these truths surprised you the most and why. I'll respond to all comments because if you've made it this far, it means you're a winner. And I only want to talk to winners, like the nearly 1,000 winners in my free Telegram community at the link below. They've truly understood YouTube's potential and are using it to their advantage. If you want to do the same, simply join the community and I'll explain everything to you step by step. Remember, money is not the enemy. It is a mirror, a tool, and a test. It shows you who you are, it multiplies what you do, and it rewards the ones who take it seriously. Apply even a few of these truths, and your life will not just improve a little, it will transform overnight, and that unfair advantage will be yours forever. Start now by smashing the subscribe and like button, and let me guess, you have never heard of the Truth 11, right? See you soon in the Telegram community. I'll wait for you. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, and any results depend on your own decisions and actions.